Senator Thom Tillis just exploded at Russ Vought over DOGE. He asked for the best example of documented sustainable savings from the DOGE office. Vought said reductions in force. Tillis said he wanted specifics. He said he worked in enterprise implementation. He said he doesn't want word salad. Vought said he didn't run DOGE. Tillis said Vought is the guy who books the savings. He asked for one example where a DOGE initiative came to Vought and said the baseline run rate had gone down.
Okay, give me the best example of where a DOGE initiative,
Senator,
once they completed the work, came to you and said, Mr. Vought, you should be aware that our baseline run rate for expenses have gone down.
Vought said there is an appropriations process. Tillis said he's heard a lot about DOGE savings. He said his understanding is the last time Vought worked in the business world was at Bolton Books. He said Vought doesn't have experience. He said people did it wrong. He asked for a briefing on the extraordinary work of DOGE. He said he would love to see one example for the record. Vought did not provide one. Let's watch.
Senator Tillis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Vought, thank you for being here. Tell me the one DOGE initiative that you think is the best example of the work that was done before DOGE was quiesced in CFPB, or you can go anywhere else, but just give me the best example of what you thought was an exquisite realization of value that came through cuts that worked their way through the DOGE office.
well, I do believe that the reductions in force as a tool
Which specific one?
in general.
Yeah, but I want to get into specifics. You and I have different backgrounds. Mine was in enterprise implementation. I did this for a living. And so I don't want a word salad answer.
Well, it's not word salad, Senator. CFPB, I'm trying to do a reduction in force.
But I'm just asking you across the board. Give me one best, because here's what I'm asking for. The DOGE office has been quiesced, okay? But there were a lot of claims of billions and billions of dollars in savings. I simply want to know where you booked them and where I can see it.
I didn't run DOGE, Senator.
You are OMB, right?
I am, but I am not DOGE.
You do track, but you do track to me, and when I worked in business and we had to implement efficiency, we got engaged to come in, do activity-based accounting, whatever was necessary to identify the efficiencies. Then we go to the CEOs and say, part of this is going to be a reduction in force. We're going to do this in a methodical manner. The number one thing we want to do is absolutely have a reduction in force that looks at our best and brightest, that 18 to 25% of the organization, and make damn sure that they don't get a "you're fired" notice. And then we would send out a reduction in force and an efficiencies program that does people, technology, and infrastructure. Give me an example of where that was done over the year that DOGE was in place.
Well, I think the extent to which we
Because
shut down
then, let me
the
back
USA
up. The reason I'm targeting you is because I look at you as the guy who books the savings. After we work, let's say we work with whatever department it is, then we got the savings, we come to you and we say, Mr. Vought, this is no longer going to be a part of our expense run rate. You can actually tell the administration that we can decrement that cost because we've cut the savings. Give me the best example of where DOGE has done that.
Well, I have been saying in terms of...
No, because give me the best example of where a DOGE initiative,
Senator,
once they completed the work, came to you and said, Mr. Vought, you should be aware that our baseline run rate for expenses have gone down. Give me one
we
example.
have an appropriations process, Senator.
I'm sorry?
There's an appropriations process. We have put forward a budget that's $160 billion in DOGE savings.
I've heard a lot of people, including you, talk about the DOGE savings. I've worked in the business world. My understanding is the last time you worked in the business world was at B. Dalton Books when you were putting yourself through law school. Good on you. But you don't have this experience, and a lot of people that were involved in this do not have this experience. I love the idea of DOGE. But what I don't love is the idea of DOGE shit that we're picking up because people did it wrong. I spell it with a dollar sign, by the way, Mr. Chair. But at the end of the day, we've got to be honest with the American people. We had people running through here and talking about all the savings. At the end of the day, book it. Every single one of these things should have before, after, net savings, and run rate for cost. And Mr. Vought, if you would submit for the record, I may have caught you flat-footed on this one, And I apologize for that.
You don't have to apologize.
But
there's $160 billion in savings
Mr. Vought,
that we
look,
identified.
this is going to be real simple. You don't have to do anything except present to me.
I did, the budget.
In consultation for the record, in written form, a consultation with the government agency that had the most documented and sustainable savings so that I can go back to North Carolina and explain where DOGE was successful. Because right now, I'm picking up a lot of bags of people who are some of the most experienced people leaving, scientists leaving NIH, these random, you were fired, oh, I'm sorry, you weren't, wrong email address. All that stuff is amateurish stuff that would have gotten me fired in my job at Price Waterhouse in a week. I want to see, but I'm willing to be open to it. You got a best case. I love being proved wrong when I'm coming out and saying something that I'm very disappointed with. I would love nothing more than a briefing before this committee on the extraordinary work of identify the target, achieve the target, book the savings, and inform the appropriations process. I'd love to see at least one of those for the record. Thank you.
Senator Thom Tillis just delivered a masterclass in how to hold a witness accountable for claims of savings without evidence. He did not come with a speech. He came with questions. He came with the experience of someone who has actually implemented efficiency programs. He came with the frustration of someone who has seen the amateurish execution of DOGE. And he left no doubt about the answer. The exchange between Tillis and Vought was not just a routine hearing. It was a confrontation about the fundamental question of whether the administration's claims of savings are real or just rhetoric. Tillis began by asking for the best example of a DOGE initiative that realized value. Vought said reductions in force. Tillis asked for specifics. He said he doesn't want word salad. Vought said it's not word salad. Tillis said the DOGE office has been questioned. He said there were claims of billions in savings. He said he wants to know where they were booked and where he can see them. Vought said he didn't run DOGE. Tillis said he is OMB, the guy who books the savings. He asked for one example where a DOGE initiative came to Vought and said the baseline run rate had gone down. Vought said there is an appropriations process. Tillis said he's heard a lot about DOGE savings. He said his understanding is the last time Vought worked in the business world was at Bolton Books. He said Vought doesn't have experience. He said people did it wrong. He asked for a briefing on the extraordinary work of DOGE. He said he would love to see one example for the record. Vought did not provide one. Tillis's argument is devastating. He did not need to prove that DOGE was a failure. He only needed to show that the administration cannot provide evidence of success. He showed that Vought could not name a single specific example of savings. He showed that Vought could not explain how the savings were booked. He showed that Vought could not provide a before and after analysis. He showed that the administration's claims of savings are not backed by evidence. He showed that the administration is not being honest with the American people. Vaught's defense was weak. He said reductions in force. He said there is an appropriations process. He said there is $160 billion in savings. He did not provide a single specific example. He did not explain how the savings were achieved. He did not explain how they were booked. He did not explain how they were tracked. He did not provide evidence. He said there is an appropriations process. That is not a defense. That is an evasion. Tillis's experience is the key to his argument. He said he worked in enterprise implementation. He said he did this for a living. He said he knows how efficiency programs should work. He said you identify the target, achieve the target, book the savings, and inform the appropriations process. He said that is how it is done in the business world. He said that is not how DOGE is doing it. He said people are leaving. He said scientists are leaving NIH. He said there are random "you're fired" emails. He said that would have gotten him fired at Price Waterhouse in a week. He said he loves the idea of DOGE. He said he wants to be proved wrong. He said he would love nothing more than a briefing on the extraordinary work of DOGE. He said he would love to see one example. He said he wants to be honest with the American people. The larger issue here is not just about DOGE. It is about the credibility of the administration's claims. It is about whether the American people can trust the administration to tell the truth about its accomplishments. Tillis argued that they cannot. He argued that the administration is making claims without evidence. He argued that the administration is not being honest about its failures. He argued that the administration is not being honest about its successes. He was right. The administration has not provided evidence of its savings. It has not provided a before and after analysis. It has not provided a single